When people hear under the influence, they think intoxication, but here it means something deeper. Here it means being moved by real stories, being inspired by greatness, and being influenced by the ones shifting culture forward. The mic isn't for noise, it's for impact. The space isn't for fame, it's for purpose. Welcome to Under the Influence, where we sit down with the voices redefining Nashville from the inside out. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting under the influence of Marcus K. Dowling. Hey, Marcus, how are you?
What's going on?
You look good in your pink.
Thank you. You know, I was told that was the color for this episode, so I thought I had to pull it out, you know.
And you know, it's one of your colors. You were telling me.
It absolutely is.
We're
yes.
aligned.
No, we're always aligned, though.
Always.
Yeah, of course.
Fire sign to fire sign.
As one does.
So let's get into it, Marcus. 2023 CMA Media Achievement Award, the Rolling Stone Chet Flippo.
Yes.
Flippo Award for Excellence in Country Music Journalism, and the Best of Gannett in 2022, and the latest one, the AMC Award in 2025. Who was Marcus before all that?
Oh God. See, I'm 47, so this is a story told in multiple chapters.
Give us the first chapter, the early Marcus.
Yeah, no problem. So, born and raised in Washington D.C., around the corner from Section 8 housing in the Deanwood neighborhood. Okay. I was academically talented. By middle school, high school, I went to Georgetown Day School.
Hold on, Marcus, you're skipping a lot of details. Like, what was your neighborhood? What kid were you in the neighborhood? Were you the one?
I was a
nerd. A candy
no.
lady?
Oh no, I was a nerd. Honestly, I know that seems shocking and surprising.
I'm very shocked.
But yeah, I was a big old nerd. Got picked on a little bit. Took karate. I'm a brown belt in taekwondo.
Oh, okay.
I took care of myself.
You ever have to use those moves?
Yes.
No, now tell us that story.
Often, I got into a lot of fights. I mean, that was the thing. Like, it was,
what?
Yeah, like, I was a nerd. I went to a school that, DC public schools believed in school uniforms during the 80s and early 90s. Like, that was a big part of, just like urban schools in most urban areas across America. And I was perfectly fine with wearing a uniform because I was also, like, slightly overweight. So I couldn't fit into like the cool clothes of the day.
Okay.
It was like not a thing. So like I'm not wearing Girbaud jeans. I'm not wearing like a Touch of Class sweatshirts. I'm not wearing cross colors, all that stuff. I'm like literally tough skins jeans from Sears and whatever shirt my mom could find to fit around me.
Okay.
And it was rough. So I always got picked on. I was that kid. And my mother and my grandmother enrolled me in karate. To teach me self-respect and also self-defense. And those things have always kind of like stayed with me like throughout life. It's like things that always like fall back on, like, when you're looking at like how to like define your life essentially.
Yes.
So yeah, like self-respect is a huge thing to me.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Marcus, what about in high school and middle school?
Middle school, high school. I went to the Georgetown Day School. Alice Randall, who you know.
Yes, you guys went to
Alice
school together.
Randall is a class of 77 Georgetown Day School. I'm class of 96. Went there and I played Quiz Bowl.
For the people who don't know, what is Quiz Bowl?
So Quiz Bowl, it's like Jeopardy for high school kids.
Okay.
And it's a team of 3 or 4, and you buzz in, answer questions. I won many an award doing Quiz Bowl.
Okay.
So it's like a whole thing. Like we won the Super Bowl for the It's Academic TV show, which has been on the air for over 5 decades now. Anybody from the DC metropolitan area knows it. It's like very much a thing.
We got to see these old school Marcus videos.
Oh yeah, it's a real thing. Like I have like a mini afro.
Okay.
Like I was trying to be cool. By middle school, high school, I figured out like I had a job. I worked at the public. I worked at the school library. I worked at the public library later. Okay. I worked at the school library, and I was like the checkout clerk, and I also put the books away, and I made good money. And
so you had the afro and you was checking out the books.
Yes. I had my afro, had my pick, the bald spot. By the time I went to college, we'll skip ahead to college. I went to Providence College, graduated in the year 2000, majored in political science, minored in public and community service. Loved my time there. My mother would tell you that by junior year, my major was alcohol.
Ooh.
I like to party.
Marcus, now what kind of influence we getting under now?
No, like seriously, I'm trying to be like fully transparent because a lot of people don't know these parts of my life. Like, people just see the words that they see in the paper or whatever. But I went to a party school. Providence College at that time was like one of the top 10 party schools in America.
So now, were you raised sheltered? So when you got to college, it was your time to
Absolutely.
Explore. Okay, so you was a shelter kid. And then,
1,000%.
Okay, this was your first
1,001%
step into freedom.
Yeah, so freedom met me and I met it. And between like the ages of 20 and 24, I was a mess. I'll be perfectly frank. I was a mess. But so given what I do now professionally, I was a DJ in college. I like DJ'd records, DJ'd parties, played a lot of music, just like hung out with like all my friends and,
So you found your crew.
Well, it wasn't like a crew. I had multiple crews. I was like, I had my roommates who were still my best friends to this day. Then I had like guys that I would like play records with on the air as an on-air talent. Then I was in the college newspaper. Okay, I was the commentary staff editor for 3.5 years. Right down from the newspaper office was the radio station. So there would be like whole days where I would just be back and forth, like eating pizza and
at the radio station.
Yeah.
That brings me to my next question.
Yes.
So you got the radio station in college. When you think about yourself today, what is a specific example in like your early family that made you want to take responsibility of your life and shape how you are today?
Well, okay. My mother raised me. Mm-hmm. I'm an only child.
Okay.
Of a single mother. And my mom's big thing was always about being able to take ownership of your own things and do your own work and not necessarily make it so that she had to be worried or somebody else had to be worried. Like my mom worked 3 jobs when I was in elementary school, middle school, and high school. So she worked for the Department of Finance and Revenue for the DC government. She also worked at Sam's Club as a cake baker. She baked cakes when I was in elementary school too. She's like known in the DC area. Like before my mom passed away, she was known for cakes. Like she could make a mean cake, especially the 7-Up cake. It was amazing.
That's beautiful.
And then she demoed vacuum cleaners in the same Sam's Club that she worked at as a cake decorator and baker.
Okay.
So she worked 3 jobs. So I was a latchkey kid from the age of 13.
What's a latchkey kid?
Latchkey kid. Like she gave me literally the keys to the apartment, and she's like, take the train, take the metro, go back and forth to school. Like my school was 45 minutes away from my front door. So like it took me forever to get to school and get back home.
So you've been independent.
Yeah, I had to be independent. And the thing is that you had to take responsibility as an independent person. Like that was the whole thing, is that my mom didn't have the time to be like, how are you doing? Like, what's going on? I need to check your homework. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, I do that all myself.
I was raised by a single mother too. I have four siblings now.
Oh my God. I was an only child.
See, I wish I was.
Yeah, my mom actually wanted 5 boys.
5 and she got 1.
She got 1 and she stopped. This may or may not be something related
Marcus,
to
what happened? What you do?
I'm always into something. I mean, this is the way I am now.
You got a hard head, don't you?
Oh, the hardest.
So tell me, let's go into you and your mother's relationship. How was that? You speak highly of your mother.
Oh, she's the best. And she was hard. So like, if you ever wonder why I'm so like fastidious and like deadline driven and demanding, comes from my mother. My mom, when I was very young, I took like this IQ test or whatever. I was like 5 or 6, and she never told me what I scored, but all of a sudden, my mother got very excited about my education and me doing well in school. So every day was like, from maybe like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade. It was very much like, what are you doing today? Okay, you're done with that. Now we're going to this like activity. Now we're doing swimming. Now we're doing baseball. Now we're doing soccer.
She did that
now we're doing
with 3
this.
jobs too?
Yes.
Wow.
So my grandmother's very important.
Okay.
Bernice White, one of the great humans that ever lived. She spoiled me. My mom did not spoil me. She spoiled nobody. But my grandmother certainly did spoil me, and that was her thing. And she was always around to like pick me up, and my aunts and her friends. So like, I was like everybody's child at a certain point.
Okay.
And then I became a latchkey kid by the 7th grade because it's like, okay, well, Marcus is old enough.
Yes.
Like we've been picking him up and carrying him around for way too long. So like we need to let him go and do what he does.
When did you fall in love with storytelling? Since you've been a writer, you raised by the TV.
Yeah.
So what was the point for you when you was like, storytelling is it?
All right. So in the 7th grade,
okay,
had a teacher named Clay Roberson. Clay was like just like the Northeastern educated like guy who teaches the English class at the private school. So it's all of the trappings of the thing. And I read Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, I know that.
And Catcher in the Rye, it's such a compelling story. Actually, no, it's 8th grade because Clay Roberson's 8th grade, so 8th grade. And I'm reading the book, and Salinger spoke to me. And then by high school,
What did it say?
so no, it just Holden Caulfield is the kind of character that like teaches you to not necessarily feel like you have to care about everything. Like he had a certain whimsy to him, a certain devil may care that spoke to me at a time in my life where like I needed to hear that, I needed to see that. Like I could almost that story is very cinematic almost in the mind's eye. So I read it and I read it like it's funny. So I read that book 2 times in the space that it took everybody else in class to read it once.
There to go to IQ.
Yeah, like I just sat there. I would read it. I had 45 minutes to go back and forth to school. So I would like sit on the metro and I'd read the book. I just keep reading. Like past like whatever the assignment was for class. It's like, okay. So then by junior year of high school, at GDS, the Holy Bible is required reading cover to cover. Like it's an English class, like it's a semester of class, is you read the Bible cover to cover. And I took a American literature course same year. And I read Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison for the first time.
Ooh.
And Invisible Man changed my life.
In what way?
It taught me about what it is to be empowered in Black before Black power was a thing. And taught me about Black liberation before I even understood what Black liberation was. It taught me about Black futurism before I even knew what Afrofuturism was.
I love Afrofuturism.
So it's like, it was like the door opening for me and a lot of that. And like, you know, I grew up in Washington, D.C. So like.
Chocolate City, were you like, did you know your Blackness before that book?
Okay. So all of the teachers at Bunker Hill Elementary School in the 80s, it was a powerhouse of American education.
Okay.
So like most of the teachers there all had like master's degrees and some of them were former Panthers.
That's beautiful.
So like every year, the Black education course was not just in February. It was literally every day at school. You had no option but to know all of this. Like they had an It's Black academic competition that I won 4 years in a row.
Okay, champ.
So like my knowledge of Black history, like still to this day, like it's funny, like Eyes on the Prize is on Daily Motion now. It's a PBS documentary from the 80s. I can recite parts of Eyes on the Prize, like it's like stuck in my head. I still stay up on it, like to this day, you know, because it's like this kind of stuff that inspires music in so many ways. Like,
absolutely.
You know, To Pimp a Butterfly, for instance, the day it came out, it stopped me like dropped me like a bullet to the head. I was just like, this is crazy. Like
Kendrick Penn, so crazy.
It's even deeper. It's the aesthetic of the record.
Yes.
It's the fact that you have these amazing LA players, these jazz guys who are young jazz players, all in the room cutting to the standard they believe in their mind of all the legends of the 60s and 70s. And it's very much like an African American record that still to me stands the test of time. And for me, it hit me differently because, again, my entire life has been like somehow couched in various pieces of Black history.
That's beautiful.
So I had no option, really. It's the best. And reading Ellison, I read Ellison still every other year. Read it every other year for the rest of my life.
I'm gonna have to put that on my reading book list.
You absolutely should.
I'm gonna tell you about it. I'm like,
by all means,
it did change my life.
You know, I call you anyways. Just call me. Like, easy. Yeah, let's go.
Speaking of the Bible, I've been reading the Bible from the beginning to the end.
You should.
I'm in Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy, yeah.
Deuteronomy. How you say that? You say that 3 times fast. So, how is your spiritual relationship? How do you get spiritually reached?
I was born.
Who's your source?
I was born Roman Catholic.
Okay.
So, and I was like very much of the church. Like when I was young, I was an altar server. I read at Mass. I was very active in campus ministry in college for freshman year.
Wow.
I'm a lapsed Catholic now. When I was in college at Providence.
What's a lapsed Catholic?
Lapsed Catholic means like if somebody tells me there's a high holy holiday and I should go to Mass, I might go to Mass. I might.
Okay.
But I'm not necessarily like so when I was in college, I went to Providence College. Providence is a Catholic college. Okay. I was that
a Catholic party in school?
Oh, absolutely.
Y'all was drinking more than communion, I see.
Oh, yes. So went to college there and they have a course there called The Development of Western Civilization, where you literally learn the history of Western civilization over, it's like the one class you have that's like every single day, 5 days a week. And you learn like about religion and politics and history and all of these pieces. And we got to the Crusades. and I was very much like woke in the most like woke way, like the way that like people get in trouble to talk about DEI and such.
Yes.
Like that was me in college. I was like an
goodness.
activist in college. So like I had an afro in college that was like bigger than the afro I had in high school.
Okay.
Like I had full on pick, like big giant hair. And I remember learning about the Crusades and learning about like, you know, colonization of Africa and by Catholics. And I'm like, and it's like, okay, we're going to take our religion and we're going to like essentially force it upon these people that have their own like, you know, native African religions. And to infringe upon somebody's freedom that way, given the way that I was perceiving the world at that point, took me straight out. Like I left the church. I'm like, I can't, and I'm at a Catholic college. I have a 4-year scholarship, like Martin Luther King scholarship, like, you know, 4-year full ride, like the whole deal. And I'm there. But I'm like, okay, but I'm not going to participate in anything religious. Like I literally
Did you end up coming around? Was there a moment where you're like,
No.
maybe I got the people mixed up with the religion?
It was very much a moment for me where it was like a line in the sand. Like I went and I talked to my professor after class. I was like, "Do you have like 10 minutes? We'll just grab a coffee." And he's like, "Yeah, Marcus, by all means, let's go grab a coffee." And,
Yeah.
you know, he's a Dominican friar. Like a lot of the teachers were Providence. Like, so he sits me down and he's like, "So, what's your question?" And I'm like, "Crusades." He's like, "Yeah, they seem perfectly, you know, legitimate, normal." I'm like, "Not to me."
Yeah. No.
And it was like, and so we had like an ideological conversation, and we agreed to disagree. And I immediately left campus ministry, and it was the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
But I respect religion.
Yeah.
Because I went to an elementary school, I went to a middle school rather, in high school that was largely Jewish. So like, you know, I've been to like, 75, 80 bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs in my life. So I have an understanding and respect of that religion. You know, like I went to college in Providence, which has a heavy Muslim population. So I learned a lot about the Muslim faith.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to religion, I respect where people come from. Like I have friends who are Wiccan, like the whole line. Like if you believe in a higher power and you understand like the order of how power interacts with other power, you're fine. I don't see a big issue with it. Like I just want people to be able to understand it. Like there likely is something that has a clue of what's going on more so than us when we're on Earth.
Yes.
So yeah,
So do you lean into that power? How has that power like shaped you as a journalist?
I cover country music in Nashville, Tennessee. Better know about God. Like God's big G. So for me, it's like, God, great example. So Ann Wilson's a contemporary Christian star, superstar. And I had to interview her for the paper. And it was funny because, you know, everybody like, they were like, "Marcus, you're really into this Ann Wilson girl." And I'm like, "Yeah, her music's great. She has a song called My Jesus. It's unbelievable." And they're like, "Well, how would you be into this contemporary Christian music?" And I'm like, "Well, understand, I spent my entire childhood like consuming the Bible."
So when I ask you that, I mean like your personal relationship with the higher spiritual universe, God, what do you call that?
I am spiritual. I believe in the connection you have to the universe. Like we are not independent actors. We are actors in good faith with each other. It's a very fundamental piece of like literally my life.
Yes.
Like I have to be able to generally resonate with something of somebody's humanity or spirit in order to make the thing work for me. Like people ask, like, how do you navigate? Like I'm the kind of guy who can talk to Brandon Lake, Jelly Roll, Jason Aldean, Shabuzi, all these people in the same week.
Yes.
And it's normal, you know, it's like big X plug, whatever. And it's like, you have to understand your interaction with them and where that falls. Is it a human thing? Like, do I just like you as a person and we're good, dap up, let's talk? Or do I have to like dig a level deeper and say, maybe I'm like politically, socially, ideologically, we're different. But like spiritually, who are you as a person? Beneath like the edifice, beneath the aesthetic, beneath the stereotype, the general public understanding. And it's like you take a second, you take a beat, and you figure out where somebody is on their spiritual journey, on their spiritual path. You know, it's one of the things. Like when I tell you I was religious, I was very religious. like extremely religious, like went to church like every Sunday, like walked back and forth up and down to church, like, the whole thing. So when I can connect with somebody in that way, that just falls back in my childhood. Like, you're just talking to me. I'm talking to you from me at 9 years old, reading the responsorial psalm at church. I know all that language. I know all that and what it means. It's not just language to me. Like, I breathed it. Like, maybe I don't breathe it right now.
Yeah.
But I certainly know what it is. Yeah.
You're very in-depth and the vocabulary is impeccable.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
The emphasis. I'm going to start using that. So when did you switch from poli-sci into journalism? Let's get back into your media.
Okay.
You're in college. You left the church. You're a poli-sci major.
Yeah.
And now you're like, I don't want to do poli-sci. Was that in college when you decided you didn't want to do it?
Okay, so it's funny. This is a funny story. I took a comparative political movements class, and it introduced me to socialism, and it changed my life because it just resonated. Like, we had a Green Party candidate who taught the comparative politics class, so he taught it in a really smart way because he's not Democrat or Republican, and he's talking about other political theories. So, like, when I understood socialism, I understood like realpolitik and like how people interact with each other and the need for the common social good and all that stuff. And that like impacted me as like wanting to be a journalist because I was like, well, poli-sci is great. Like I'll get a job. Like, I worked for the EPA for 5 years. Like, for a company, I worked for a company that was contracted to the EPA. So like I did that, like it's the whole thing. Like, but in the back of my mind, I knew that like telling stories for actual people that would in some ways create effective connection between them. Because, I'm like, politically, I'm a socialist. Like, I'm not like, I don't carry a card. I don't like have like a hammer and sickle hanging in my house. Like, I'm not that guy. But when you talk to me about politics, like, I can talk about the whole, both sides, up, down, left, right, whatever. But like, for me, it's about socialized community. And when it comes to like writing words for public consumption, the first thing I'm thinking about is always creating socialized community that is based on fundamental goals and values and principles. So like, if I can streamline all of popular music into, it's like, well, we're getting the culture at large and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I could streamline all of this into a discernible thing that like everybody can understand. If you're not a fan of rock and you read about the Fray or whatever, or if you're not a fan of country,
I love the Fray.
I just talked to Joe. Yeah. So it's like, if you're not a fan of country and I'm writing about Zach Top, like, I'm going to find a way to find the lowest common denominator, but not like the absolute lowest.
Yes.
Maybe it's like I'm dividing by 4 instead of 8, but not by 2.
Yes. Yeah, have a little bit of
yeah. So it's like, but I'm finding something that will be a pull for you.
Yes.
So that you could at least like understand communally why this person is so popular across the board among so many people. It's very much a way that of me consciously thinking about the work.
Yes.
That defines the way that I do the work.
I love that. So speaking of the work, so when did you switch and you found like journalism from a hobby to being a profession? Like, I want to make some money off of this.
So
I want to make this my career.
From 2000 to 2009, trying to have a regular job. Tried very hard.
Where were you working at?
I worked in corporate America at the end. I was databasing commercial real estate. Before that,
real estate agent?
No, I was just databasing real estate. I was databasing for agents. So I'm very good at like spreadsheets. Like, I can spreadsheet anything. Before that, I worked for numerous foundations on Capitol Hill doing spreadsheets, and that was like my job for a while. Before that, I worked for a company that was contracted to EPA. So I did environmental justice research and like community development research based around like environmental in environmental racism, for instance.
Redlining.
Like dealing, and all of those things. So it was a part of my life. And I finally reached a point where MySpace happened. So MySpace happens, and I was databasing commercial real estate. So like, I needed something to play while I'm like, this is me all day. Pick up the phone, call somebody, call an agent. Okay, that's a $13 per square foot net lease. Okay, thanks. Goodbye. All right, cool. Boop, 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 boop. And so I needed something to listen to. And I've been a musically curious listener ever since I was a child. Like my mom loved disco. She loved rock ballads. She loved radio-friendly R&B. So like I've always had a curious ear. So MySpace is pre-Spotify, all of that. So like you could type in and I'm like, oh, there's this girl, MIA. She's a Sri Lankan rapper whose beats are produced by Diplo. And okay, who's Diplo? Diplo's this guy who does like underground DJing and he makes trap edits of things.
What MIA song was it?
Oh, Paper Planes.
Oh, I know it was.
And before that, it was like, I found Paper Planes first, and then I fell back through the rest of her catalog. And I'm originally from DC, so her Baltimore club engaged work with like producers like Black Star, and then that introduced me to artists like Rai Rai, and I'm just like in. And then it's like, I'm noticing that there's all these DJs that are indie DJs, people like A-Track, all these people who become giant, enormous celebrities. And they all have these mixes. And so I could just listen. And then Lily Allen gets involved too. I'm still a big fan of Lily Allen. Lily Allen made mixtapes before she released All Right Still, her debut record. And I would just be sitting there databasing commercial real estate. All this music is playing in my ear the whole time. That's all I'm doing. It's like I'm just listening and I'm just like, and then I'm like, and then Amy Winehouse happens. Ghostface Killer's on the remix of You Know I'm No Good. And to me, that was like peanut butter and banana sandwiches. Like I was just like, yo, Face is on a Amy Winehouse track, the same Amy Winehouse that I listened to do all this other stuff. And so she gets in. Did you start
like writing like MySpace articles?
I wrote MySpace articles initially. I wrote LiveJournal articles even before that. And then I opened up a blog called True Genius Requires Insanity. 2009.
Great name.
Thank you. That begat me getting paid in t-shirts and apparel by Mishka, the fashion brand out of Brooklyn. Like, shout out to Mishka because they kept me dripped. They kept me dripped for like 2 years of my life. Like every time I went out. Because, you had like nightlife photographers back then. So like, and I'm like going from like Boston to New York to Philly to Baltimore to DC to Richmond routinely. I had a car back then that I put 53,000 miles in 14 months.
Wow.
Like I was out. I don't
know cars, but that sounds like a lot.
It's a lot. It's way too much. So I was outside. I was always going. And like, Michigan they paid me in shirts. Eventually got to the point where Complex was starting an EDM vertical. Because the Euro dance EDM side of that started to get hot,
I know about the
alongside
people.
like the bubbling American underground market, and I was in that intersection. I was out 5 nights a week. So then I started working at Complex for a site called Do Androids Dance, and I worked for Complex.
So when you were at Complex, was journalism still a hobby then, or were you like, no, this is?
No, I was getting paid at Complex, and it was great. And I was freelancing then. Washington City Paper picked me up. I started like grinding it out then, and I was writing about art. I was also writing about politics. I was also writing about culture, sex, whatever. I was writing about literally every topic. And that begat this career that fell out of the sky. Like I was the one person in the culture who was like pulling from this and pulling from that and pulling from this, and people would just stare at it sometimes like it didn't make sense. Like, it's like, okay, so you're the same guy who writes about Latin pop, but you also write about jazz, but you also write about literally like blog era regional hip hop. So like, it's funny because I live in Nashville now, but in 2010, I was a big Nashville rap fan.
Really?
My 3 favorite rappers in the world were Yellow Wolf, Jelly Roll, and Struggle Jennings.
I'm hollering.
No, like seriously.
Shout out
So
to
like,
Jelly Roll and Yellow Wolf.
Yeah, so Struggle put out Black Curtains. I was like my favorite Struggle song. It still is my favorite Struggle song. 0 to 60 Trunk Music by Yellow Wolf is still one of the greatest mixtapes ever released. It's up there with Fat Trell's, Nightmare on East Street.
So what drew you to Nashville? What were you searching for in the music city?
Biggest songs in the world.
Okay.
Biggest songs in the world.
Now, was this before you were with the Tennessean or after?
This is before I was with the Tennessean.
Okay.
So Yola released a cover of Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road in 2019. I was just out of a very serious relationship, and I was very heartbroken. And Yola singing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road got me through. And I fell in love with that song. I saw her at the 930 Club. And at that point, I knew. And I then My mom had also passed away 2 years prior. And I wore cowboy boots like all the time because I fell in love with Waylon Jennings after her mom died. Because, what is it? Loving Her is harder than anything I'll ever do again. Like, it's always been a big ballad for me, but the song meant literally a different thing to me. Because I'm like, I'll never love anybody as much as I love my mother.
Yeah.
And it was like, I listened to that song like religiously. And I had this pair of broken down cowboy boots. They're still in my house. Like, I want to give them to the Hall of Fame or somebody or whatever someday. But like, I wear those boots all the time. And I wrote a story for the Bitter Southerner about my cowboy boots. It's called DC Cowboy Boots. It's still up on the site. Very popular story. Because it's like, I understood the culture personally first.
Of Nashville?
Of country music. And Nashville to me was always fascinating. I grew up watching country music on television.
Yeah.
Like, country music on TV is a part of my life from the time I was 8 years old all the way through.
Yeah,
like,
you remember that story in the car broke down and you had to stay in the trailer park where they put you in front of the country music?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a whole thing. Like, I've been a fan for literally 40 years.
So when you got to Nashville, what were you expecting versus the reality of what it was?
Okay. So it's funny. Country music has literally been exactly what I expected it to be the whole time.
So do you use Nashville and country music like interchangeably?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like, why did I come here? Country music. 1,000%. So for me, I got hired by CMT during COVID. It was great. Actually, it's terrible how I got hired. Like, I wrote a obit for Charlie Pride in 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Like, Andrea Williams, shout out Andrea Williams publicly, because without her, none of this happens. Andrea is currently Black Tennessee Voices at the Tennessean. She's an author. She's a writer. She's incredibly smart, and bless her. So they reached out to her to write Charlie Pride's obit because she's been in the space longer than me. I'm brand new out of COVID. Like, I maybe had written 50 stories at that point.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I know a man who should write Charlie's obit. And then Melissa Goldberg, when she was at CMT, she became my editor. She calls me and she says, hey, so would you be able to write this? I said, Charlie Pride's obit? Consider it done. 45 minutes later, sandwich of words.
Boom.
Out the gate. So for me, I got the job there. I got hired to do this Giants Charlie Pride documentary. When I get to Nashville, because I have to fly down because I wrote the documentary, so I have to be there. I meet in order Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood, Darius Rucker, Jimmy Allen, Alan Jackson, George Strait. Back to back to back to back to back. Wendy Moten. Back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Country music has always been exactly what I wanted it to be. At every time I've wanted it to be something great, country music has always over-delivered in a way that, like, I couldn't even begin to fathom in my wildest fantasy. I know I'm probably 1-0 on that because of a lot of obvious and non-obvious reasons. Yes. But it's true. It's my truth. Yes. And I must live in my truth.
As you should.
Yeah.
I love that. Nashville's been great to you. So you came to Nashville, already had a job and a plan.
Yeah, yeah, and it's been hard. Like, you know, like when it's like to stay at that volume of work that I stay at, and to always be motivated by legacy greatness. Yeah, coming to town, I tell everybody this who interacts with me now. I knew I could be great in Black. Then I knew I could be the first to do a lot of things. And to kind of set the bar for that. Now I'm obsessed with just being the best overall. Which I think is, if you're a Black person or a marginalized person within the Nashville space, the vertical ability to be the best writ large overall, beginning, middle, and end of the story, is possible. I had a part to play in that, so I know it to be true. Yeah. Like, you can't not, like, Mickey Guyton had a part to play in that. Shabuzi had a part to play in that. Reese Palmer had a part to play in that. There's a lot of people who had a part to play in that. The fact that I am in that conversation
is amazing.
Is astonishing to me. I still remember.
Your career is amazing. Like, the awards are impeccable.
Thank you.
So was there like ever a thought or a moment where you're like, hold on, I don't know if I can do this? Where were you at when that was happening in your life?
I was at the Urban Cowboy Bar. Talking to Ben Goad, who's the executive editor of the Tennessean. been inviting me out for drinks to talk about the Tennessean. I'm there during Americana Fest 2021. And we're talking about the job, being the Nashville Country Music Reporter of the Tennessean, which hadn't been filled for like 18 months. Shout out to Cindy Watts, one of the best to ever do it. And I'm like, I don't even like, and we're talking about this job. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, this man is insane if he thinks that I could be the country music reporter at the Tennessean. Like, I don't think that's even remotely a thing. Because for me, like some of the greatest writers in American history, like Peter Cooper, who's unquestionably one of the greatest writers that ever did it, was like the Nashville Country Music Reporter at the Tennessean. Like Craig Haverhurst, who I just had on Culture at Large. He's a damned fine writer, and he was the Nashville Country Music Reporter at the Tennessean.
Yes.
Me and that lineage makes no sense.
What?
And I'm like, huh. And it's like, we left it with like, here's the application, Marcus.
And what'd you do?
I filled it out. But I filled it out thinking, this is just going to be wild, and I'm going to end up in Nashville. I'm going to have this fantastical journey of being interviewed at the big, giant office at Tennessee and has go up to 18th floor, the whole deal, full day. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to be able to like tell the story to like all of my friends who never thought I could do it.
Yeah.
That's going to be the pinnacle of it. And a bunch of other stuff I'm going to write.
Was it that?
I got the job.
But was it all that you thought it was going to be?
10 times more.
And we're back with our game. First up is Sip or Spill.
All right, let's
Have you ever held back the truth in an article to protect a relationship in the industry?
No.
Okay. Is there an artist?
He could be lying too.
No, I haven't. I literally haven't.
Discernment. I know when somebody's.
So you've never.
No.
Is there an artist you've interviewed that you felt was completely different in person versus how they portray themselves in the media?
Jason Aldean.
Talk about it. Hello, give us a tea.
Jason Aldean is a Southerner. He is his father's son. He is his mother's. He is his mother's son. If you understand that, then you understand why he believes the things that he believes. And when you break down somebody to their humanity, beyond their politics, that's an eye-to-eye, one-to-one that you can't do anything with. Like when you understand why somebody is the way it is because their parents are that way, because their family's that way, then that changes everything. If you're willing to put your family and yourself ahead of your art, that says everything. Because a lot of people don't do that.
Yes. Have you ever been told not to cover a story because it will ruffle too many feathers?
All the time.
What story?
Prime example of this would be just jumping into the Black country controversy in 2020 so heavily because a lot of people.
Beyonce?
No, just 2020. Like let's go all the way back to Black Lives Matter. Like jumping in out of the gate, and my first 6 stories were about the condition of Black people in country music. Two of them being about naming 36 women and putting them in a Nashville scene. Like nobody wanted that, but they got it. And, it was important to me to do that because I wanted to differentiate myself, number one, in the marketplace. And number two, I felt like, you have to be, what people want when they need it, when they demand it. So I felt the demand and I, did my job.
As you should. Do you think Nashville's country music industry is truly inclusive or is just better at appearing that way?
Okay. 2-part answer. Number one, country music as a genre has to be inclusive on so many different levels that it will never be fully inclusive because you have to leave somebody out. It's hard to be that inclusive because you're country, you're Western, you're Black, you're brown, you're white on multiple levels. 3 different levels of economics on that too. So you're going to drop somebody out. That's the hardest part. But as far as like Black country music artists, like we've had 5 number 1 guys who are Black. We've had Mickey Guyton get 3 Grammy nominations. But should we have 40, 50 artists on CMA Fest? Probably. Do we? No. Is there a space for improvement? Absolutely. But you want to give people the grace to understand, can you improve?
Yes.
Like, you got to lend the grace. So it's like, okay, can we do that?
Can we? Is there
Yet to be seen.
Is there a major artist you think is overrated, but the industry won't say it out loud? Are we going to get a sip?
No, you're not going to get a sip.
You got to say the name.
I'll say that people don't understand why Morgan Wallen's records work.
Have you ever written something that you didn't fully stand by, but you just wrote it just to meet expectations and deadlines?
That's why I don't work in mainstream media. Because I always stand by what I write, and I only do one job.
I love it. Do labels or PR teams have more control over media narratives than people realize?
10 times much. Like they control parts of the industry right now, good, bad, or indifferent. That's just what it is. Because you have so many artists, and you need the PRs to be able to facilitate that conversation.
Has that ever affected your writing? Because the PR's like,
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Is there a story you wanted to tell but couldn't because of politics or access?
Well, okay. Great answer. I've wanted to write about Lee Greenwood and Kid Rock for a long, long time. Because anybody who is my age, 47 years old, you look at both of those people, and they were fundamentally a part of your left-leaning life when you were a young person. And now they are part of your right-leaning reality as a grown adult. That's just weird. So I really wanted to tell that story, and for whatever reason, it hasn't happened. But I'll put it out there. I want to sit down with Kid Rock. I want to sit down with Lee Greenwood. Because, again, they were part of my left-leaning reality as a young person. Now, as a grown adult, they are a part of my right-leaning reality.
Crazy.
How does that even happen? That is a very rare thing. Like, Hank Williams Jr. might be the only person that's in that same ilk. And I've talked to Hank. So,
have you ever lost the opportunity because you were too honest?
I lose them all the time.
Which one specifically? You got one you can name?
God, I'll say that when I was a young writer, writing about EDM, I lost the opportunity to talk to all of the top guys of that era because I was so tied in with pushing marginalized acts ahead. So it was easier to give me access to literally every marginalized act there was in electronic music. But the top tier? No. But everybody else? Absolutely.
Is there a publication in Nashville that you think plays it too safe?
No.
You're lying.
No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm not lying at all. No, I had to think about it because I know how everybody can perceive that question. But I will say that the one so like my former employer, the Tennessean, for instance, like they understand that they are initially the paper of note for the city of Nashville, Tennessee. The hardest city in America right now, the paper of note for is Nashville, Tennessee, because so much of it's a blue dot in a red state, right? So you have to be cognizant of what that balance looks like. Some days in some topics, it's 70-30. On some days in other topics, it is 50-50. The fact that they're able to maneuver that judge up and down like this, it's magic. I've watched it happen. I watched it happen for 4 years. Unbelievable stuff.
What is one truth about the industry you think people aren't ready to hear?
Country music's here to stay.
Booyaka. Who really controls the narrative? Journalists, labels, or PR?
The journalists always should, but that's not the case in the industry right now. Everybody else does. The journalists across the board. This is
Who? I don't know.
Who?
Who controls that?
PRs. And I'll say that it's the journalist's responsibility to have discernment and a desire to tell stories more so than report news. Like, the story is the thing that pushes creativity, development, artistry forward. People have to be willing to tell stories instead of looking at a press release and saying, okay, that's going straight out.
Dang it.
Like, explain to me why.
Bring back storytelling. Is there a conversation that the industry keeps avoiding?
God.
On purpose?
On purpose? More so than black artists in Nashville, brown artists in Nashville. Ooh. We got to get Latinos like more represented in the space. I know you had Andrea Vasquez on the show, but I think that it's an easier lift to get brown artists available to be successful in country music than it is for black artists, because historically, vaqueros and the American West, with the West having a moment, there's an easier story to tell that people know because of also just the geographic closeness of Mexico to the American border. Like, there's all these obvious through lines. And, you know, Freddie Fender and Johnny Rodriguez and there's proof. Rick Trevino, like there's proof that this works.
Yes.
And you just have to extend it for another generation.
Is that going to be the next Substack?
I mean, I've written it already. I could write it again.
Oh, I got to. What is something you've personally outgrown in this industry?
Believing narratives that are fed to me. The one thing about coming to Nashville is that I took great desire.
Specifically.
I'm gonna go there.
It's a game. You gotta go fast.
No, so I have taken great painstaking effort to make sure that I spend real time with artists. I've done probably more artist interviews than any journalist in Nashville in the last 25 years. And there's a reason why. Because I got to know what the narrative is out of their mouth and not somebody else's. Because they're two different narratives.
Well, Marcus, you didn't sip, you spilled. And we thank you for that as an influence.
Got you.
So our next game is called This or That.
All right.
You can get with
this.
This.
Little black sheep. I like it.
You can get with that.
I danced the black sheep at my 14th birthday party, so this is all good for me.
Truth or access?
Truth.
Artistic relationships or journalistic integrity?
Journalistic integrity.
Legacy or relevance?
Legacy.
Independent voice or major platform?
Independent voice on a major platform.
Break the story or protect the source?
Break the story.
Okay. Culture or commercial success?
Culture.
Say it publicly or keep it behind the scenes?
Say it publicly.
Respect in the room or influence outside of the room?
Influence outside of the room.
Real change or performative progress?
Rule change.
Nashville or everywhere else?
Nashville is culture at large.
Now let's get into publications.
Yeah.
The Tennessean or Rolling Stone?
Rolling Stone.
Billboard or Complex?
I'm a former Complex employee, so Complex always.
Pitchfork or the New York Times?
I know people at both publications. I've written for Pitchfork, so I'll go with Pitchfork.
Variety or the Hollywood Reporter?
Chris Willman all day. Shout out to Variety.
People Magazine or GQ?
Chris Barillo is one of the best writers in America, and people don't know enough about him. People Magazine always.
Okay. I mean, Double XL Magazine or Vibe?
Vibe Magazine.
Now let's get into the journalists.
Yes.
Marcus Dowling or Teray?
God. Me. Yeah.
Joe Coscarelli or Rob Sheffield?
Rob Sheffield's a triple OG in the game. Gotta be Rob.
Katie Neal or Cache McClay?
I know both of them very well. I'll say that Cache being the...
One of this
No,
or that?
I was literally going to explain why.
We don't need to explain why. This or that.
I have to explain why, because I know both of them.
No.
And there's a logical reason as to why.
Somebody's getting fired. No, I'm just
Yeah.
Bring out that water. Sip on that one.
I do want to answer it, though. Okay, so I'll do that again. Because being the Beyonce reporter is one of the hardest jobs in America,
Skip.
Cache McClay.
Question.
Jacqueline Staff or Cache McClay?
Cache all day.
Ebro or Nadeskis Alexis?
Ebro's another OG. So yeah, gotta go with Ebro.
Charlemagne the God or Gayle King?
Gayle all day.
Gayle all day. And on that note, Marcus, we have been under your influence. It's been amazing. Any last words for us?
No, this has been an absolute pleasure. I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, season 2, part 2. Cause we got to the top of. We got to get up under there.
Let's go.
Let's get it.